Good evening, everyone. Today was. I just had one of those days where I get something in my head and it just doesn't let go, right? So. Um, I'll go into what I was thinking about. It's primarily to do with MapleStory, but I want to talk about the video game for today. And let me see what I have on the books. Because I now play more games per day than I record videos. So I have a little bit of a backlog to talk about them, right? So for example, I also did Notebuster twice just wasn't really paying attention to it. But it's a good game, so it deserved it. Anyways, I did Dixium, I did Nick Central, Severed Steel, even played that today. I've played Severed Steel I actually have it open here, 104 minutes, which is almost 2 hours, and that game is fan-fucking-tastic. Right? You know how Neon White gets this absolute all-time hype for being one of these incredible games, and I think Neon White is a fantastic game because it's very much about timing and running through through levels like in optimal way. Severed Steel is just pure shooting fun, right? So there's a couple of things in that game, right? So you run and you gun, and it's just literally about you have a level, you have a couple of objectives, and it's all about killing everyone in there, just completing the objective, going into the next room. But just that loop of killing everyone, just the gameplay of it is just so fun. It is so good because you can shoot with left click and you can slow time with right click, which is just so darn cool, right? You can only carry one weapon, you can have a kick. It is just, I'm super far away from a good FPS player. For a matter of fact, I am probably the worst FPS player out of all the people that I know. Out of all the people that I have ever played with, I am arguably the very worst FPS player, right? When I was little and we had Battlefield or Counter-Strike and we were playing these things at LAN parties, I was always dead last at all of them. And then when I got even older, and we're now playing the Fortnite, playing the Apex, I was again dead last on everything. Every team had to carry me because it's just not a good FPS. And the actually only FPS game I play is Borderlands, because it's not competitive, it's not PvP, it's just you versus enemies, and it's very much about the builds that you make that make you stronger and the guns that make you stronger, right? So for me to play something like Severed Steel is unheard of. Really unheard of. Anybody you ask will be unheard of. But that game is so fun. It's so good because it just takes all of it away. It takes all it is movement, shooting, and slowing time down, right? So because I can slow slow time down, I can hit enemies and I feel really good about it because it feels like I'm really good at that, right? Even though I'm slowing time. You don't have unlimited time, Gosh. You have to kill something to get it refilled, and it's just like a couple of seconds. So you do kind of have to get better at it. And also, you're moving really fast through levels. You're sliding, you're diving, you're sort of dodging, you're wall running, you're kicking to jump up walls, and it's just all of it is just unlimited amount of fun. Severed Steel, I can recommend from the beginning until the very end. It is, except for Borderlands, the only next FPS game I would ever play at this stage right now. Obviously, I've had a PC for 2 weeks, so this is also the first FPS game that I've really touched upon, but it's just so good. It is so good. Can't even overstate the fact on how good this is. Just this slowdown mechanic of shooting, gliding, sliding is just phenomenal. I don't even know what the fuck the game is about. It doesn't even need to tell me, because just jumping on, doing a couple of kills, doing a level or two, and then moving on is just absolute high quality shit. Alright. So that's the point today. I will make a video once I get to that about MapleStory. But at this stage right now, I've played MapleStory and it's 100% unplayable. It's just impossible. Like you cannot tell me that anybody who's new to this will go into MapleStory and have a good time. It's just no fucking way, right? Anyways, I don't want to go into MapleStory right now. I'll make a separate video on it when I get to MapleStory. I still have a couple of games to go through until get to it, but I'm sort of ready for it. The point why I'm talking about MapleStory right now is I was thinking, why has actually nobody ever copied that success of MapleStory? Because the core of the game is fantastic. It's just everything around is just garbage. Like the leveling, the combat, the systems, they're all fantastic. It's all the other shit which is around, which is horrible, right? But the core of it is just so good. Why has nobody made any of that, right? Because it just, I don't know, man. We've made a 2D game which is horrifically failed in 10 months, right? But we absolutely over-engineered it, right? We made every ability has animations, every ability had to have new sprites, every ability had to have like collisions on how far they were from the fist, etc. All of that was super tight and we were completely over-engineered. Where MapleStory just has one animation and there's a bunch of VFX throwing at it. And it's fun, it's good, feels good. So I'm just thinking, why has nobody ever done that? And in my head, I'm just really building a plan how I'm going to make my own MapleStory, right? How I can take that formula and just did it. I think if we take Lost Ark, I think they've done just the natural evolution of it into 3D, right? So Lost Ark must be probably the natural evolution from. But I think there is a market for people wanting a 2D RPG, not necessarily 3D RPG, right? Something which is a little bit more socially friendly, maybe. So I've been just thinking about this the entire day and how would I approach it even. Because we have one artist and we have one developer. I mean, like, how would we even approach that? So I would have to have multiple games to make multiple money. So just keeping that in my mind that maybe all those little games which we are creating in the future, which are like those 3-month projects, might be part of all the different systems which are in MapleStory. So we could implement that in the end together. Would that even work? Anybody who knows, would that work? Like, could you take a really big game? Just doesn't even have to be MapleStory. Take anything else. World of Warcraft, Helldivers. It absolutely doesn't matter which game. Could you just take like that 100% of a game and just dumb it down into 101% projects and 101% releasable video games? Or let's say 120, something like that. Could I make 120 video games of 1% that would create World of Warcraft? But we're not talking about World of Warcraft, let's talk about MapleStory. So let's say, I don't know, can I make 50 games, right? Can I make 50 games? All those games have a separate system, which is then usable for, it created in 3 months, which is then usable for MapleStory. I could just pull all those 50 games together and boom, have MapleStory. Would that work? Obviously have like some iterations on art and story and all of that stuff, but would that work? I'm curious about that. I made my artist, so I made Bismarck play MapleStory because I was like, yeah, you have to try the combat, but he will kill me. He will absolutely fucking hate me. Because it is a real pain to play. It is horrible. It is just beyond horrible to play. The combat, fantastic. Leveling, fantastic. Skills, fantastic. Classes, fantastic. Just everything else is horrible. I'm actually super tired of it. I wish it was better. I can't even loot. You have to loot by button. I know they're pets, but you have to buy pets for $5. Auto loot pets. You can't just loot. You can't just walk over icons and then they will loot up. No, you have to press Z all the time. To just, I don't want to get into it. We'll get to MapleStory. I wish everybody a fantastic evening. See you soon. Peace. I don't know why I blew a kiss. I'm just tired.